Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and I have the wonderful privilege of being joined by Tommy CM for the spotlight today. So, Tommy, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to look at this park. Today, we are looking at a PS5 park called RedWood Park, and it's created by Danger Dan underscore 165. And so the description says that this was a park that spent 4 months. And so this creator hopes we enjoy the creation. So I'm really excited to look at this park. What are your initial thoughts kind of before we actually get started?
It looks it's a very nice layout. It seems to have sort of, a lot of separate areas. There's some really good coasters. It's got the realism of a car park in there. So, yeah, really excited to have a look at it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start at the entrance. All right, guys. So we're here at the car entrance or car park entrance. Look at you, Tommy. You guys have me calling it car park instead of parking lot. So,
it's the British rubbing off on you, that is.
Yeah, and I will be honest though, I definitely like saying car park more and push chairs. So I'm coming along on push chairs compared to strollers. So, but yeah, so this is a nice little entryway, and I like how it's like the park's so blocked off from view, right? Like you still have no idea what you're in for in terms of what this park is going to provide as you're driving in.
Yeah, it's very sort of it's very like colourful with the trees and the foliage, but there's like just enough over the fence that you can see and hear what is going on, which is cool, what you would get in a normal park. You'd sort of get that sort of teasing element as you drive in. So yeah, really
Absolutely.
Nice, really nice design.
Yeah, you can see all those people right there queuing for a coaster or something. But yeah, so I'm excited to see this park because this is on the PS5, so it's definitely utilizing the extra bill limit, and I like the use of that sign right there. The colors I think go well, and having this little mini pond as you enter looks nice.
Yeah, and the flags above the side I think are a nice effect because
for sure
it can be quite a difficult piece, those flags, to put in an effective way, but I think that really does kind of add to the sign. So yeah, I think that does look really nice on there.
Yeah, definitely, totally agree. Now I really like this area to the right because as you come in, I like how there's a height too. So you've got how high how high your car cannot be essentially, and so this is not a massive car park like with some parks that we've seen, but it gets the job done, right? So it's just adding that realism effect, and then I like the bus stop too, where the guests come in at. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, really nice way to sort of hide the spawn tunnel there. Because like I say, unless you were watching where the guests were heading, you wouldn't realise where they were spawning from.
Absolutely.
Is, always nice to just hide that away.
For sure, and I like the use of putting a door there too. Instead of just having it be a wall they walk through, there's a door. And so I think that's a good touch. And then I love the little advertising pieces here, which I just like. How difficult would it be to be able to actually import and like take an image in the game and put that on one of these screens, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you could do a screenshot of the park, of a place in the park to advertise it would be so much nicer.
Yeah, for sure. And now this is the entrance. This is nice. It's not overly done. It's it looks like this would be some kind of park notifications or something, or some information, but it's nice.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a bit like Animal Kingdom when you walk up there.
Oh,
Animal Kingdom's entrance is pretty much just like an open plaza like that with a row of barriers to go in.
And so we've got some detailed ticket booth areas with the computer, and okay, so that's a way you can do like a makeshift keyboard, kind of a very large awkward keyboard, but it's better than having nothing. So
what is that? Is that a snowman, or is that a snow piece?
Let's see. So okay, so it's a screen mount pushing through, but let's see what's.
And then snow.
I guess so. Yeah, let me see if I can click on. Sorry, this camera sometimes when you're trying to. Oh, it's just an oval.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fair enough.
It's a medium. I feel like so they used a medium oval. I feel like you could have used the small one or extra small, and just move those pieces a little bit closer together. You know?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you could have also just used a rectangle, couldn't you, for a keyboard?
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, honestly, I mean,
I mean, it's a really nice idea. I mean, I've never seen anyone make a keyboard like that for the ticket booth. So yeah, so it is a really nice touch.
for sure, and that's what I was gonna say is I think I've learned something today because I didn't even think about using a piece like that to make the keyboard. So I mean, you're right. Just use the rectangular piece and it works great. But I love
Yeah,
the little bit of clutter in here, and let me get back in this mode. So I love having the little restrooms here. Oh, you got the telephone booths.
yeah.
So,
And you
um,
don't often see people use those in parks, the telephone boxes.
yeah. And then this other side looks like the same ordeal. Yep, same thing. So, nice little entryway. I mean, kind of like you said, it's just basically a big plaza, nothing too crazy. And I love this plaza as you walk in. Very nice and open. Let me get the HUD back off the screen real quick. Yeah, so it's a nice and open plaza, and the buildings are nice too. It kind of reminds me of, I mean, not necessarily like a specific park, but they're very much like here. Kind of almost seems like ocean themed in a way, whereas on this side it's a little bit more kind of classic, if that makes sense, or at least in my
Yeah,
mind. But
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like you say, it's quite a traditional like park entrance really. There's not a huge theme going off, but I think in your park entrance, unless you're doing a park based on one theme, you want a generic entrance to kind of blend in with everything. So yeah, it does fit in really well.
yeah, and I'll be honest, for me with my builds, I mean, I'm not great at theming, so this is more my my style. Um, but yeah, and I love this you got a little backstage area here, which it looks like that was an entrance from the car park for employees, and looks like a little office. And yeah, so
Yeah,
that's a nice little touch there.
it's really put some effort into that. It's not just a case of putting a couple of vehicles in a building. He's got a full-on road layout. He's got custom fencing around the road.
hmm
Yeah, he's really gone to town on that.
Yeah, and it connects to the park over there, so that's a nice little touch. So, left or right? What do you think?
Uh, I always go left, let's go left.
Okay. Yeah, I love this right here. Is that just so that's I'm trying to see what this creator used for this because this looks really nice.
So it's a
So a
planter.
modular plant base. Hmm. Okay. Honestly, I didn't know that's what those look like, but I think it looks nice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and they spoke redwood out the flowers as well, which is a really
yeah.
nice touch.
Wow, that looks nice. Yeah, and then I like how you come here and you've got a little lake. So there's a little bit of space once you walk in to allow the crowd to um, not be too compact, and then you got to choose obviously which direction to go. So if we go to the left, and let's go left again. So I like how there's signs too, kind of directing us.
The dark forest.
And you've
The dark
also,
forest is an area of Alton Towers. So I don't know where this creator's from, but whether he's called it that for any other reason, I don't know.
okay. Yeah, I was guessing maybe with using meters and then having the phone booth, maybe this creator is British, but then again, I think America is really the only country that doesn't use meters. So I could be wrong on that, but we're a little strange like that. So, I like the little rustic look right here. It kind of makes it look kind of run down and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
no, it's really nice. And he's got the iron fencing hanging upside down, is just above where the
Oh,
queues
I
are
didn't
as
even
well.
notice that.
A,
Oh,
a
that's
lot,
cool.
I've seen a few times people use fencing upside down like that, and it makes it like a really nice sort of trim on the roofs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can use them with a lot, especially the ones that are like really small.
For sure.
They work really well.
Well, I
So
know.
yeah, that looks really nice.
Yeah, I know I've seen Nerd Chacho use it for like on shops and stuff to, in theory, when they close at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But it's one of the smaller fences. But yeah, so it looks like, which I kind of like the decision on layout here, is you basically got a massive plaza in the middle for people to walk, and then all your rides are on the side. So instead of a ride being in the middle, you kind of have that space just to make sure that people aren't overly crowded. and it looks like nice little queue, nice custom fencing. I always think this ride's got such a weird character. Like
it's one of those rides that it does work well when you want like a dark or sort of like a fantasy theme, but it's one of the things where I wish you could sort of customize it as well. It's a bit like the the magic carpet or the magic
right.
ride.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It only works on certain themes, but it's a really good flat ride when you do want to use it.
How about that little entertainer? I'll be honest, I've never used the entertainers. I always forget. And so instead of riding this car ride, let's just kind of quickly go through the area, and definitely has a good little haunted vibe.
Yeah, it's got. I love the mix of trees and bushes. I do think that really shows you the sort of depth that someone wants to put into their park, because you can either just put a bush that works and just put loads of it down and hope that does the job. But when you've got a really good mix like this, it shows that they've paid real good detail to
for sure
design the ride.
Well, and which there might be speakers on here, so I might have to edit in a ride around this track. We'll see. But I like too how you've used, like you said, a mixture of bushes. So you've got some that are really green, and then you've got kind of the dead bushes too. And it really kind of adds, like you said, to this area and makes it feel more realistic,
Yeah.
And so obviously we're in a graveyard, and yeah, so I'm guessing this might have been a good one to check out at night, because I wonder if it's lit up at night, since normally these are supposed to be spooky. So there's some lights throughout, but nothing.
It's spaced them out enough so that it's not too bright for a spooky ride, but it's not like pitch black either.
Right. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, so now let's go back. Oh, I like how he's put lights on the lift hill. I think that's a nice touch. Oh, and he angled them too. Okay, that's interesting, because I always try to keep mine straight, but it's obviously easier if you can angle them that way, because you've got the slope of the lift hill, and it's just a matter of advanced move tool. So let's get in line for this coaster. And I like these, using a lot of the coverings for whether you're going to a different area of the path or park, or the entrance for the coaster. Looks nice.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So we got a nice kind of graveyard station here with the gargoyles on it. So it looks like, is this the time mat? I think is what it's called. Yeah, time mat. So it's like the wing coaster, but it's not actually. It's not like the wing coaster that you like making, Okay, so let me pause this real quick, because we actually only have one coaster on the track. So let's look at the stats real quick. And so G-forces are a little bit high for vertical Gs. Laterals maybe a little bit high too, but other than that, everything else looks good. Good stats. So let's go ahead and ride the coaster. All right, so that was the coaster. I'll be honest, I forgot the name. So the Crypt Keeper. Okay, forgot to say that before we started. So what were your initial thoughts of that coaster?
I thought it was a really good layout. I like the, as you mentioned before, the lights on the lift hill look really good. There was a couple of points where the inversions were a little bit quick, so maybe a little bit slower on those, or maybe making the inversions a little bit bigger so they don't kind of fly through them. But other than it being slightly quick on there, I think it was a really fun coaster.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the layouts were good. I think this is one where there needs to be, like you said, there needs to be a little bit more space in between some of the transitions, and or just make the coaster a little bit smaller, because it's just like, especially at corkscrew there, that's way too fast for a corkscrew. And then obviously kind of adding in some more banking. So I mean, overall, like really good layout. And I don't know about you, but to me, this is one of the biggest learning curves in this game playing is consistently trying to make good coasters, because it's just such a tough thing to, so many things you got to think about. And then here, like when you use the pre-made pieces, like this pre-made 0G roll has got such a drastic, like steep incline. Like it goes from no slope to all of a sudden you're going up at such a steep degree. But yeah, really, I mean, I like the coaster, like the layout. Just needs not quite as quick. So
yeah, and maybe having a second train on there, because I think the brakes, it didn't really seem to slow the train down that much. So maybe like sharper brakes and put a block brake section there, and then you can maybe have two trains running at the same time. But no, other than that, it's really good ride.
And one thing I wanted to check on too, so it is trying to slow it down, but I guess the coaster is going so fast to begin with. So one thing I would do here too is I would remove some of the supports. So like every other one, you can just turn the support off, and so then you kind of just, sometimes the camera doesn't want to act how I'm trying to get it to act. So you just remove some of the supports, and it kind of takes away, makes it not look as cluttered, right? Like you can already see right there. Yeah. By removing some of them, it doesn't look quite as cluttered. So that was just my one thing I would do. But yeah, really good coaster overall, and I like the area. Definitely was able to stick to that kind of horror or haunted type theme. So, and I
think the buildings as well, as you said on the other one. So I think there's two buildings, isn't there, in here, where he's got that sort of abandoned sort of look and feel to it. He's got a door there. Look, that he's put wooden planks.
Oh yeah.
There, which is again a really nice, really nice sort of small scenery piece, but it really does add to the theme.
Well, and then how about the wooden pieces on the building, kind of making it look like it's such an old building. It's just been oh, and I didn't even notice this. You got the windows are boarded up. So a lot of little details there that, like you said, just kind of add to the uniqueness of it, because I just think that's a really cool style.
And the back of it also then leads on to the coaster queue, so it kind of works as both a shop and a bit of scenery. So it is kind of does two jobs in one.
Yeah. Well, and let's be real, it's really hard to actually theme a coaster, right? And so I think this is a good job of sticking to that horror theme, at least up until the actual coaster begins. Because when a coaster begins, like unless you're doing one of those ride experience coasters, really hard to actually theme it. So let's move on to the next area. And I guess we'll go left, continue going left. And so I do like how you've got a lot of these little ponds and little areas. Only thing I would say is maybe using a little bit more terrain paint.
Just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of mixing it up. But I like the kind of natural feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. Final Frontier new for 2021.
Oh, how lucky are we? So, yeah, that's a nice building.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, and it's, this game is really predicated around making square and rectangular buildings, but it's always cool to see like the little things people do to kind of try to make it stand out. Like you got the little indention here, right? And you've got all the little pieces that are made, like the rope hanging, you got the ladder to the roof. All those little things just kind of make it stand out and make it unique. Oh, let's look over here real quick. I didn't even see this. So you've got this water tower. Nice little area.
Yeah, definitely. I was expecting like there to be a bit of a shop there, to be fair, or is it just a seating area? Is it? Yeah. That is an actual path into that is built. That is built.
Yeah, I think so, because you've got you've got those. Yeah, it's an actual path. So let me see. Yeah. So. Okay, so there is something here. But what's there? Is that a?
Oh, it's a staff room, is it?
Yeah, it's a staff room. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and honestly, with something like this, like if they didn't necessarily want to theme the inside, they could have just had the path go inside, and just put like, you could put like 5 or 6 stalls in here, and just kind of, you know what I'm saying, like just have almost like the guests are walking through the doors, the 2 barn doors, to kind of get in and out. But I mean, really nice though. I definitely like it.
Yeah, really nice. I do like all the fencing he's used throughout. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I do think putting down custom fencing, as time consuming as it can be, it does make a huge
Totally
difference.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is another nice little building. I like the roof choice there. Oh, I like this fencing here on the side. I'm starting to try to do this a little bit more, using actual wall pieces as part of the fence, and kind of putting something else with it to really make it, like, distinguish it. And then this is a cool view of this little mine train coaster here.
Yeah, you can see pretty much the whole layout there, can't you? As it just goes back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Nice views. And so once again, we'll kind of look at, oh, we got a log flume over there. Look at that ride, man. Everybody wants to ride this log flume. That's crazy. But yeah, once again, I mean, I do like the layout of it, because normally I think, I kind of get in the habit of wanting to put something in the middle sometimes, but I do like how everything's on the edges. And, down here you've got a burger restaurant. So, nice interior. I was not expecting a full-fledged interior like this, so that's nice.
No, yeah, very nice. And he's got the screens up there with the different logos on as well.
His mirrors. I don't know what this is here for necessarily, but I understand it being up there for mirrors and for the lights and stuff, but I don't know about on the bottom portion. And then I like here how, you got another TV here that could represent like a menu for something or just some informational stuff. You got toilets. Oh, you even got would that be like condiments maybe? I don't think that'd be like. I think
so, yeah.
I was about to say that wouldn't be like hand wash or anything. Then you got toilets. Yep. So nice interior. This is really nice.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a lot of people do that. That again, it just shows you the attention to detail that they're willing to go to.
For sure. We'll come to the water ride in a second. Yeah, I need to do more interior stuff. In terms of like actually making seating areas and stuff like that. But yeah, so looks like where's the entrance? Because that's the exit. And yeah, I agree with you. Oh, there it is. The custom fencing is nice. It just kind of adds more character to it, other than just using the fencing that's given in game. And so we're gonna skip over some.
I'm glad he's turned the curbs off as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Sometimes I like doing the custom curbing, but I just definitely don't like the curbs they have in game. They're just so ugly, to be honest. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Is this this is called Boulder Dash, and it's a canyon runner, so mine train. So let's take a quick look at the stats. Everything's in green. Lateral G is a little bit high, but other than that, stuff looks good. Biggest drop 34 meters. So that's a pretty big drop for a canyon coaster, but this will be a fun coaster to ride. All right, so we just got off the Canyon Runner coaster. I totally forgot the name again, and I did like the layout. I think once again the layout was really strong, but I also think once again it was too fast for the layout, if that makes sense. You could have brought this down just a little bit with the height, especially this first kind of turnaround over here. It's just a little too quick through that for this coaster type. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you do tend to find that they don't necessarily have as much height on them. It's more about the bends and sort of small drops on these coasters. It was called Boulder Dash from memory. But no, I think it's really nicely themed. I love the rocks and the trees and the fact that it goes kind of through tunnels, and there's train track pieces down there and stuff.
For sure.
There's a lot of small theming pieces that make it look like a really nice coaster, and it's not just done on flat terrain either. It's he's used the terrain tool to make different elements to it, which are really nice as well.
For sure, yeah. I think I'm sure one thing we'd agree on is this creator does a really good job with theming up his rides.
Yes.
And so, like you said, the theme is really nice. And I do like how the elevation changes a lot. And it really goes with the terrain a lot. So this really is a terrain coaster. And so it's very nice. I did enjoy that. I think it's just one of those where just lower this a little bit. Instead of it being 34 meters tall, lower it to 25, 26, something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think even if you did lower it to that, I don't think any of the rest of the layout would need to change. I think it would still get round
for sure.
and get to the end. It would just slow it down and make it probably a smoother ride.
For sure. So yeah, now as we can see the water ride over here, and everybody wants to ride this ride. So it must be a hot day at this theme park. And I like this station. So I like how there's just some detail to it in terms of it's not just all replicated and all the same. And so what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I like the use of beams he's put on the side because again you've got to individually place them to use that as like well, it's essentially like a wall piece, isn't it?
For sure.
So yeah, really nice. I mean, the only other thing you could probably put in here, you could probably put some, a bit like the cardboard boxes and storage items and signs, etc. That
right.
You tend to get like the miscellaneous backstage, stuff that you can kind of use to fill out in here. But I do like the fact that he's got these lights on the going across on the beams. He has them on all the stations, I've noticed. So I think that's a really nice style.
Well, it gives off good light too. Now, I would say he's probably got a little too many. Like I would, maybe just take away one of them instead of having two of them on each side. Just kind of take away one because that was kind of giving off a lot of light. But I do agree with you. I like having those lights because they just give off a lot more light than the vast majority of lights that were given in the game.
Yeah.
So let's see. There we are. Hopefully a kid doesn't take... Oh gosh. Of course. Here's what we'll do. We'll sit on look forward mode. There we go. I don't know why I've never sat in this camera before, but this is a lot better than sitting down in that first person mode.
Yeah, no, I was going to say look forward is definitely the one for log flumes because you're not sat like in the boat. Then you kind of sat and you can see everything.
Yeah. This is nice. I like it really feels like you're not even in the park anymore. It feels secluded.
I like the fact that the water's coming out of pipes in the sense of I know the pipes aren't sort of like natural looking, but I think like in a theme park that's what you would get. You would see the fact that you would see water pipes pumping the water out, and in the sense of it's theming, but in a I don't know how best to describe it. It's sort of sort of like theming, but you can see where it's coming from. If that makes sense, they're not kind of hiding. They're not hiding the water, to look like a natural effect. It's like a it's kind of like basic theming, but it's that is quite a realistic touch. That is. Yeah,
I totally understand what you're saying. Oh, that's a very unique hill on a log flume. I like that. So normally you don't see I don't know how realistic that is, but normally you don't see the rounded hills like that. Then again, I haven't been on a log flume in a while, so.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on one with a sloped bend like that. Yeah, I've only done straight ones.
What about you when you go to theme parks? Do you like getting on water rides or?
Yeah, I'll happily go on water rides. I mean, the UK, it's mainly weather dependent because if it's terrible weather, then I'm not going to dry off. But if you go in somewhere like like in Florida or when I've been to theme parks in like Spain and stuff, I'll dry off within 10 minutes, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. See, for me, I think it's I think the water's just really nasty at theme parks like this. Like, and so I just don't want to smell like that musty
Yeah.
smell the rest of the day. So normally I'm like, I'm good. Plus, if it's a hot summer day here in the U.S., especially in the southern states, everybody's waiting. There's a longer line to get on a river rapids than there is the best coaster in the park. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that hill, and I like the. I saw somebody else did this the other day too. That's a really cool use of the waterfall pieces to make it seem like there's water rushing beside the actual log flume down the hill.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, it's like it's like the standout sight line, isn't it, of the ride? That is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it does look really nice.
So I think we're coming back to the exit. Yep. And yeah, I mean you're right. Like I do like the with how this log flume's set up. I mean, as you're waiting in line, you constantly see. It almost kind of reminds me of Splash Mountain in a way at Disney World, because it's like as you're waiting in line, you just see this massive drop for obviously the focal point of the ride. So that's really cool and really well done. And then nice little building up here.
Yeah, I do think log flumes work really well when there's like small indoor sections like that. Either a little huts like that, or entire rooms basically where you can like float through. Obviously, it works well with the Western theme, but yeah, anytime, like it's just an easy way to theme a log flume. Is rather than just sending it through trees and rocks or through a hill, putting a small building like that makes a nice change.
For sure. How did they get this up here? That's what I wonder. Yeah.
With great difficulty.
For sure. All right, so we're done with the frontier area, and kind of like we said at the beginning, this guy he actually has themed more than I was expecting after kind of seeing the entrance. So I do think it's nice. Like this isn't necessarily a really detailed frontier theme, like it's like NH did or some other people have done with their parks, but it's enough to really know that you're in a different area of the park, right? And that it's meant to be kind of Western or rustic theme.
Yeah.
So let's go this way.
Again, I love the fact that every time you come out, you brought back to that centerpiece like lake in the middle, that you can see, and it's just like the main circulation point to the different areas.
Yeah, so it looks like we just got really 2 more areas. So not a ton more left, but I do like how continued the custom fencing around. And I like how it's the same fence that's being used, but just colors are changing, kind of almost signifying that, hey, we're in a different area. Oh, that's a cool sign.
Yeah. It is that, yeah, it's a very cool sign.
What pieces did they use there? Oh, that's just the roof molding slope. Okay. And that's a cool way to make I mean, that actually is pretty simple with the pieces he used, but it kind of really adds a lot.
Yeah, really effective.
Yeah, and too bad you don't really pick up audio too much with SharePlay, because there's music going on right now, which is a nice touch. So it's almost more, not full-on sci-fi, but definitely a little bit more sci-fi themed. And what does that make you think of? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was about to mention that, because I don't know whether he's using Alton Towers as an inspiration here, because the area, obviously that reminds me of Oblivion, which is what you were about to say, but the area in which Oblivion is in is called X Sector. Which I'm wondering, is that why he's got a giant X at the front of it? I don't know whether he's using that as an inspiration or whether it's just a coincidence. I don't know, but yeah, the layout of that is definitely very similar to Oblivion.
And I like the fact that he's put this fencing around all of these flat rides too. And it looks like he's using. He didn't use cement pieces there, but you can tell he used cement pieces here to kind of section off the ride and stuff. So that's nice. Yeah. So what do we want to do first? We want to do the Oblivion style or the launch coaster?
We'll go to the launch coaster and then we'll work our way around, I think.
All right, yeah. Always go left, right? So
always go left.
It looks like it's closed. I hate when you click on that thing. It's like, why have those there if it doesn't actually allow you to click on the ride? Oh, it's broken down, so we'll have to come back to it. But yeah, so we'll come back to that in a second. Let me actually hire a staff member.
Yeah, there you go. Fear X is still broken down. It's just come up instead.
Okay. Just hire multiple. You can never go wrong with having multiple mechanics. Um, Nice little shop. Now, one thing I really like here is if you go to this bathroom on the right, which is this a staff room? No, that's just the door. But look at the wall that he created here.
How? Is that a screen?
No,
What
so
is
it's the
Is it?
facade wall. So it's like I think it came with the studios pack. It's like one of those city building pieces that's like supposed
Oh,
to just
wow.
be the facade of a wall. But I think it works really well and looks kind of cool in that using it in the bathroom area. So like it
Yeah,
makes it seem
yeah.
kind of like that rougher brick, but different from the one that the game has. And he had to have done that on purpose, coloring it like that. Danger was here, and they're walking right through it. So nasty. But yeah, I like this
Yeah,
area.
I've not seen anyone use that facade wall before. Because if you put a screen in, you can put bricks on a screen, can't you?
Oh really?
As well.
I haven't tried
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Because there's quite a few options on the screens where because you can put like clothes and stuff, to go in like a shop window.
Oh,
But
okay.
you can put bricks on there as well and like shutters and stuff. So yeah, that's why I thought it was that. But I've not seen anyone use that facade wall before.
So, what are your thoughts here on the fencing? Using a mixture of different types of fencing.
Yeah, I noticed that at the exit of the other one. It's very nice mix. I mean, it's time consuming to do that to keep making the different gaps, but it does make it a little bit different than just having chain link fence all the way through or having wooden fencing that you can't see past. It's just a really nice mix.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Jasmine says hi, Tommy. So
Oh, hi Jasmine.
yeah, she just came up here saying, "Who's on the call with you?" So yeah, he says hi.
I didn't say that. I said, who you talking to?
Yep. So Jasmine interrupted our park tour. How could you, Jasmine? Everybody's mad. No, I'm just kidding. She says, "Hey, everybody." So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. This is time consuming, but it looks awesome. Like I've never thought to distinguish this. Like that looks great, and then I love this. Like, is that just well, and then obviously the lights. We'll have to look at this at night. But I love the temple column piece with the chain link fence wrapped around to create that kind of pit that it dives into. I think that looks very awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Again, very, very Oblivion style. Style sort of fencing around the drop there, especially with the mist as well.
Yeah, for sure. So without further ado, let's go ahead and ride the coaster. And then we got another kind of, it's got the rustic ceiling, but different building pieces. Oh, I like that use right there of kind of that window, using, I guess that's just you have just a tall metal fence piece. That's different. So if you look at
anything like that just makes a nice little change than just having a square box as a station. And I did notice those pipes going around the outside as well.
yeah, for sure. I'll have to look at that when we get off the coaster. Spotlights being used in here. So like you said, continuing with the lights, it's called Fear X. And so let's go ahead and get on this coaster. All right, so that was, I think it was called Fear X. Yeah, I'm terrible with remembering names and creating names. But I like this little bit at the end here. Now, it's not a transfer track, but you've got this little extension of the roof as the coaster's kind of coming back into the station. So I think this is a really nice touch to kind of add this little space. And then the pipes, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be again, I'm not sure if there's, I'm not sure how many trains there are running on this track at the minute. But again, it's the sort of that little part, little piece at the end just there is sort of where you'd sit a train while you're waiting on the block brakes on a normal coaster. So again, yeah, it's just a really nice bit of realism there.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will say is I don't think there are any block sections on this coaster because the station is pretty long. Yeah, as you can see, they're both sitting here in the station. And so that's one thing I would say with if this creator were to watch this video is, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that you can watch. I did make a tutorial on it, but there are a lot of people who've done it a lot better than me too, of making block sections to where you can have these shorter stations and run 2 trains or even 3 trains instead of just 1. But yeah, I like that coaster. Nice drop. Let's see what this looked like at night, because I don't know if you noticed, but there were some nice lights kind of as you drop through. It was like there were lights placed down here for you to not realize that that's just ground. So that's kind of cool. That's a cool touch.
It's a very nice tunnel in there. It's not the easiest to build through tunnels like that. It's not easy with the camera work sometimes. So yeah, it's a very nicely laid out tunnel that.
For sure. And so just kind of an overview real quick, as you can see, very nice lighting. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that we look at and say this was meant to be looked at night, but it's just enough to state that obviously everything's lit up properly. So
yeah.
Let's go ahead and see if we can now ride this. Yeah, this one looks to be back and working as guests are queuing. So once again, same style station as Oblivion, which is nice that the theme's kind of being continued throughout. And let me pause that so we can jump on that coaster. This one's called Velocity. And real quickly, all green stats. Average speed, biggest drop 10 meters. So obviously this is more like the Haggard's motorbike type, which is a launch coaster. But let's enjoy, let's ride the coaster. Alright, so that was Velocity, and it's a quick little coaster, but that seems to be more along the, family coaster type variety instead of it being like a thrill coaster. But what are your thoughts and takes on it?
I mean, like, same as you really. It was quite a short coaster, but I think that's the purpose of it, and I mean it fits into its area really well. There's not much room for it to go on any further without sort of clashing with other rides. So I think it does fit in really well. Really nice coaster. That big drop there is quite. I suppose that's the main element of the ride to go up there. But really fun.
Yeah, and it's a nice launch, not too forceful because obviously you've got that turn. But I do like how, like you said, the area it's located in. I mean, you really couldn't have it be any longer or larger, but it fits perfectly into this space. And
he's fenced it off from the mine train. So all
that's nice.
Kind of down the side of where the mine train is. He's fenced it off so it doesn't clash with it.
Yeah, that's nice too. And I think sometimes he doubled it up too. So like instead of seeing, sometimes you see this and one side you see the ugly actual beams and stuff. Yeah, I guess what I meant, tripled it up. I guess what I meant was reversed it so that you're not seeing the one side seeing that like back of the fence. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Definitely tripled it up, and I think even quadrupled maybe in some spots. But yeah, that's a very nice touch. I didn't even notice that, but that's probably a good thing that I didn't notice it, right? Because it did its job.
Yeah.
So, so this is honestly, I think this is my favorite area so far. I just like the theme kind of carried throughout.
I think as well. One thing I've noticed in the different areas is it's not. He doesn't overly theme it, but he themes it to the right level. So, for example, here you go into the plaza, you've got a few paint splats. You've got this you've got the spaceship centerpiece there, and the buildings, and that's pretty much it. Other than maybe bits of scenery at the side of a coaster, but that's all it needs to kind of set you into so you know what the theme is, and the fencing of course as well.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. I mean, not everything needs to be like Disney, right? So, just enough to let everybody know, hey, this is what this park is about, right? Or that's what this area. But I love the sign. I mean, I think that's just such a unique way to use. I mean, that only used, 6 pieces? Or maybe even 8. I guess 8 because you got a couple that are a little bit longer. But I think that's a really nice touch. And then using the little beams around it is nice. And then obviously I love the chain link fence. I think the chain link fence and the wood fence are like the best 2 pieces in the game. Yeah, or I guess the best pieces that came with an expansion pack. So, yeah. Then now the last little area is called Little Wood. I know Maddie's gonna make a joke about that. But yeah, what were you saying?
I'm not. I'm more mature. I'm not going to make a joke about that. I was going to say the fence has already got shorter here, so is already the fencing kind of sets the tone of the area.
For sure.
Kind of, that bright white picket fence is always in like I'd say more like a family friendly area.
Yeah, and how about those little? I always say it wrong. Topiary, I think is how you pronounce it. Those little topiary bushes around, like. That's a really nice touch. I mean, it almost feels like now you're heading into some garden or, like you said, like a really family-oriented area. It's giving me ideas for family area.
Again, the hedges, sometimes it can be quite difficult to use them and, in the right places. So, but as you say, it works really well with this sort of themed area. And you've got the dinosaur there for the kids as well.
We're dinosaur. Where am I looking at?
Just behind you. You got the mascot on the floor, near the balloon ride. Oh, behind you, to your right.
Why can't I?
There you go. The dinosaur mascot on the balloon ride to your left.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, hold on. There we go. Balloon ride.
Yeah. Look at the exit.
Oh, the dinosaur. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
The dinosaur.
I thought when you're saying the dinosaur, I thought you meant like literally created a dinosaur, and so.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
So I gotcha. Hey, everybody is totally allowed to make fun of me right there. I'll blame it on I'm tired from work. So. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is great. And then obviously the rides used are very family oriented. Like you got the carousel. And the fencing's continued, and just changing up the colors to kind of match the ride. So I think that's a good touch.
Yeah.
Nice little food building here. Another one over here, and then we've got looks like a kids coaster. And what do we have over here? So we got a little car ride. These are always cute. I like the building here too. It's nice and welcoming.
Yeah, I do think the car rides do look better with like a more open style station rather than making it a huge enclosed thing. Having an open station can sometimes actually look better.
Ooh, look at this. This is nice. So you got the little fountain. Although I feel like there should be some water, like a little pail or something there that the water's dripping into. But yeah, I think I like this more in the haunted house one just because it's like really nice and peaceful scenery.
Yeah.
And nice and green, really using the topiary bushes.
Yeah.
Then you got the little gazebo. Is that what it's called? I always forget.
I think it's called a bandstand, isn't it, in the game? I think that's the name of it.
Bandstand, okay.
Yeah.
Let me just click on it.
It's one of those items that I have to search for about, I have to search for like 3 different words before I get the right one that it comes up if I want to use it.
I know, I hate when you know what an item is, but you have no idea what it's called, and so you have to like literally search through everything. Yeah, so that's a nice little, I know we didn't take a ride on the car ride just for the sake of time, but I like it as we can kind of see the area. Once again, all the rides kind of pushed off to the side. And there's obviously, there's that staff driveway. But yeah, so let's ride this last coaster, which is a kiddie coaster. And I like how this station is just like this one over here. It's just colored differently to match the coaster.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I mentioned about that small fencing upside down again? It's got that again on this building.
Gosh, that's such a nice touch.
Yeah, it works so well, putting that upside down. Just you know, it adds to the building in a way that there's no other roof pieces that do that.
Yeah, and then having the lights kind of turned down. I wonder if that... Okay, so I think what this creator did, I could be... Okay, so you've got these lights here that are help shining and giving light here on the outside. And I wonder if these are meant to be something or if they're just kind of decorative, because the lights are facing downward, you know?
Yeah.
So I wonder, I mean, it's not really giving off much light, if any at all. So I just wonder if they're supposed to be a decorative piece. I like the little miniature plants here.
Yeah, having the planter around the trees is really nice, rather than just having a tree sat on concrete.
Yeah, nice little touch. All right, let's go ahead and ride this coaster. And this coaster is called Treetops. So we'll talk to you guys after the coaster. All right, so that was Tree Topper, and I think that's a nice little kiddie coaster. It was smooth, it wasn't overly long, and you had a couple little hills, but it's a nice family ride. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, I always love the junior coasters in the game. I could probably argue that could go around twice. I think it's just at the right length of track to do 2 laps around there.
Yeah.
I think, you know, as a layout, if there's only going to be one train on there, I think you could probably get away with doing 2 laps around it. But yeah, no, really nice, and obviously it's called Treetops, and the trees are obviously the theming piece, and it again works really well. And he's fenced it off around the edge of the park as well. At the back, he's got the brown fencing on the far side there to kind of just so you don't see the edge of the park as such.
Yeah, once again, nice touch. I just noticed this. The detail in here is really nice. You've got obviously like the cross beams and different things, but then you've got these wooden beams up here that are being supported, and I didn't even notice that before.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really, really nice, unique touch that you don't see. You don't see it look like that a lot in terms of when creators make designs like this. So I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, placing wooden beams like that, it does take a little bit of imagination to get the the detail right. I mean, obviously once you've got one lined up, it is just advanced move tool, but to get the imagination to design the support system, etc. It does take a bit of detailing. For sure.
So that is all that we have. I think we've seen everything in the entire park. And so if we look real quick, this is actually, so it's at 73%. So I don't know if this creator's got a PS5 or if the creator used a little bit of the cheat to be able to place down a ride at the end. My guess would probably be the latter, since we're at 73%. Or maybe the creator just felt this park was good with the size that it was. And obviously it's a big park. I want to see real quick Yes, we got 14 rides, a lot of facilities and stuff. But yeah, what were your overall thoughts of the park?
Yeah, really nice design. I like the fact that there's 4 different areas, kind of all surrounding the lake. As we mentioned, I think that the theming, I like the fact that it's minimalistic, but enough to make you aware of what the theme is that he's going for in each section. And then the different touches of detail on the rides. For example, on that log flume, the waterfall effect obviously looks really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
And and things like that. His use of theming is very good on the rides.
I agree, and I don't know if you picked up on this, which I really like. I really like this building that he did. There's a lot of different building pieces used, and then obviously the interior is nice. And a lot of the stations, you even have like little buildings like this that don't serve a purpose at all. They're just there for decorative purposes and for theming. But one thing I just now noticed and is, so you have 4 themed areas, and each area essentially has 2 main attractions with a flat ride, or maybe 2 flat rides. So like this one, you've got your 2 coasters with a flat ride. This one, you've got your mini or your junior coaster plus the track ride, and then your 2 flat rides. And then, this one, you've got your 1 flat ride with your coaster and your track ride. And then back here, you got the log flume and coaster. So it's basically, okay, I'm creating a destination area to where there are 2 things that are going to attract the guests there, right?
Yes,
and so I thought that was kind of a cool design and thought out purpose, because I had just realized that at the end. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So
it's a very sort of very sort of nice repeat method that is done for the different areas, so that and it also helps so that the guests don't kind of all flood to one area and then don't go to another. Like, for example, if he hadn't have built a junior coaster and the track ride in the junior land, if he'd have just put, say, 4 flat rides, I don't know, the teacups and a Ferris wheel, there wouldn't be many people in that area. So
For sure.
The fact that he's got 2 bigger attractions gets the guests spread out.
Yeah, you've got to have a reason for going to that space.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so anything else that stands out to you? Any other comments?
Just as use of custom fencing. I think that the fencing makes a huge difference, and it can be time consuming, and it can just you can think, oh yeah, it's just easier to flick fencing on as standard when you build the path, but it makes such a huge difference if you can spend time putting the fencing in like this, as we've seen in this park.
For sure, and all the different. There were a fair amount of different types of fencing, but it's the way that the fencing was utilized. Like, you've got some fencing on the top of the building there. You got the fencing upside down to create, just to create a unique look. They had it. Just this creator used the fence in so many different ways. That was really impressive. And then just all the different look and styles of the buildings. Like, you got 4 or 5 different buildings here, and they all look different in terms of their style. Like, they don't look like replicas,
No, definitely. And again, it's just nice that they're not just square boxes. The fact that he's got different levels, he's got some parts of the building push forward, some push back, and etc. It just, it's just a really nice mixture.
For sure. So that's it for this tour. Guys, make sure, as always, hit the like button. Make sure to check out, I should have said this at the beginning, Tommy, but make sure to go check out Tommy's YouTube channel as well, as Tommy was very instrumental, along with, Planet Flipcam and Iron Matty, as Jasmine and I were getting our channel started. I believe you're the first one that I really reached out to, and so I appreciate all the help that you've been for us, and it's been a lot of fun, man, and this was a lot of fun doing this park tour, and hopefully we're able to do more of these.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's taken a while to get a time where we're both ready to do one. But definitely look forward to doing more.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.